controversy. And I'm gonna bring up an example of a local company that just released a trailer, that Ink, that has drum up some not so pleasant feelings. What are your thoughts about that?
I have various thoughts. One, I don't know anyone at Ink, and I don't know the show, so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're probably great people, and it's probably going to be a great show. And to presume otherwise based off of, I don't know. It's a hard situation because I think it's probably more complicated than we just see from the outside, particularly if our lens is reality shows are reality. So I hope the show is a great success, and I hope the shop's a great success. And I think people were probably right to be a little bit upset about what was said about Springfield. But I honestly think that oftentimes the social media justice doesn't fit the crime, pertaining to this and pertaining to other things, other places. If the crime was saying bad things about Springfield, I don't think it means that they should lose their shop or like their livelihood, or like that's pretty over the top. So I think it would help if everybody chilled out a little bit.
I'm talking about the social media.
Ooh, let me add this.
Okay, add it.
I made up a saying the other day. It's an old ancient Houghton proverb that I made up 2 days ago. May your pitchforks be dusty and your ears be listening. There's one made up word in there. But the sentiment I actually really agree with, that like, don't get me started on this, but like that we, particularly in social media, we get upset about things and we treat people as caricatures and forget that they're actually real life people. And so like, slow down on being too upset and maybe get to know people who are different from you. That's a nice concept, right?
You have been in the spotlights, having
right
your
now.
own show, having things on social media. Obviously, I mean, have you had some haters that were just unjust in that? And kind of walk me through an experience or kind of how you feel about that, and people understanding what it's like to, technically your job is to be in the spotlight.
Right. Well, there will always be haters. I don't like using that term. That sounds like,
So,
I hate when people say like,
say haters. I mean, people that do not like.
I just didn't want a quote of me saying the haters. Yeah, so there will always be people that don't like you on social media if you're trying to earnestly do something and it's out there. Like if you're trying to like sincerely do something, no matter what, there are going to be people out there that don't like it. If there's a video of a puppy and a baby crawling all over each other, which everyone can love, there will be people that hate it because that's how they feel about the world and need to express it that way. Not everyone that's critical. There are plenty of reasons to be critical of me or my show. Number one, it sucks. It's a sucky show. I'm not good at hosting it. And yeah, so at a certain point I had to understand that like when you put yourself out there in a bigger kind of mass media sort of way, you no longer have control of how people feel about you. So I want people that I encounter or are friends with or interact with or have relationships with to like me, and I like them, and if there's something that comes up, we have a discussion about it. Mass media and also social media rarely provides that opportunity. So there are going to be people that don't like you, and there are going to be people that don't like you, maybe sometimes for good reason. Maybe it's for something internal issues they have on their own. But also, there are also people out there, I've discovered with having a video go viral, there are people out there that operate outside of reason, that you'll never be able to convince of anything, even if you had a reasonable argument with them, a very respectful, reasonable argument. So like we had for Instagram husband, we have an Instagram husband account, and there was somebody else that made another Instagram husband account that would just take the pictures we put up and put up on theirs. Didn't add anything, it was just that. And we could not get them shut down. We tried to send a message and they blocked us, and they'd pop up again. And like, I don't know why that person would do that. What's the motivation? And so there are people out there that just operate outside of reason. So I don't, when it comes to like social media, I will never, when it comes to social media, I'll hopefully never put anything out there that is mean-spirited or anything, because, or negative really, because people will take it the wrong way. It's just something, people will take it the wrong way. I always treat social media and any media as a friend, but it's the friend that will tell everyone what you told them. So just be careful with what you say. So I imagine you could get into a situation if you're not used to that, to where you say something that's taken out of context or not what you really meant. And that's a fear, and it's easy to do, but I think I've learned over the years how better to manage that. But like when it comes to like the ink stuff, like I am certain I'm going to say something I regret, and it's going to be on video. I probably have said something so far now. But also you don't have any control over who's editing. So I may say something that has a comma and then something else to help explain the first part of the sentence, but the edit may put a period in there, and then it's not what you meant. I don't know, man.
I'll try to, as the person editing this video, not to do that. But let's talk about this one part that I think is really important, that what you said, is that people don't separate and realize that these caricatures, these people are personalities, are actually people. Flip it back to you. How do you understand the fact that you know, separate that out from yourself? You know, I'm a human being, and these people are just, they don't understand that. Like, how do you make it to where you can deal with that? Because it's got to be hurtful sometimes.
To be honest, I kind of secretly love when people say really mean things on social media, because I don't think that is true, and it's kind of hilarious. So like, we'll take comments when people say mean things like Instagram husband. It'll just be, it was fairly well received, but there'll be people that say mean things, or like what you look like or whatever. And so like we read those on the show. Well, one, I would say that like when you're watching someone on TV, let's say it's Ryan Seacrest, and you're like, I hate Ryan Seacrest. I hate him. People say that, but they don't know him at all. Like there just isn't, often there isn't the next step of trying to understand somebody. When somebody's elevated, you kind of take a little bit of their humanity away in terms of like humanizing them and seeing them as a fully formed, well-rounded person. You just see like their choices in their job. And I think that people do that on social media now, where we're all kind of entertainers. We all kind of have fans and followers. And so then if something happens on social media, we treat them like we've treated celebrities, which is just kind of this thing, without thinking of the consequences of how you might potentially hurt this fully formed person. And if it's a big celebrity, it's probably less likely that's going to get to them, or they've learned to kind of put up to guard against it a little bit. But if it's someone that reaches newly found fame on social media, all of a sudden we elevate them up there as if they're this thing. But they're probably reading all the comments and stuff, and you just forget that they're a person and that you don't know the whole story. So I think I'm not too, for me, I think it's silly to think of myself as a celebrity. Keep that in there. But in terms of like people that I don't know knowing of me, that's true, I guess. But so I do kind of like have a heart for people that get maligned in public without people knowing their full story. And it ties back to social media, where we're all little celebrities. We feel we can just lob these things back at people. They're people. We're getting off to really philosophical things.
So any last closing thoughts?
The antidote to social media outrage or reality TV show outrage or this media landscape we all find ourselves in, where we're alternating between the mob and the celebrity. The antidote is to seek out real humans that are different from you and talk to them and try to understand them.